In this video, I am going to outline the top 5 reasons why churches are not live streaming. Hey guys, this is AJ the CEO, and if this is the first time you stop by my channel, thanks. And just to let you know, on this channel we focus on tips, trainings, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. So like I said at the very beginning, I posted on a couple of forums that I'm on, church forums, and my own personal page on Facebook. I pretty much posed a question as to why most churches aren't embracing live streaming. And I really wanted to get a gist of it because in my business, I actually work to help churches do more stuff with technology, hence the name of my channel, as well as help install stuff. And I'm the head of the media ministry at my church and change a lot of stuff. And I kind of wanted to see what was the consensus of what it was. So let's go through the top 5 things that polling about 200 people from media ministries, what they thought. The number one obvious one that I've heard so many times is this one. If we start live streaming, people will stop coming to church. Now, for y'all that know me, I am a preacher's kid, so I've been in church my whole life. So this one I'm going to be a little bit more blunt about, just growing up in church. If live streaming stops people from coming to church, anything would have stopped them from coming to church. Live streaming is not the cause. It's just, the nicest way I can say it, they're just weak. Meaning that any gust of wind that blew in a certain direction would have stopped them from coming. So today is live streaming. In the past, it used to be the radio. In the past, it used to be the TV. For all we know, in the future, it's like virtual reality would stop them from coming to church. If that's the reason, that's really not a good reason. Like my brother-in-law, ever since they started live streaming, that was the kind of the thought as well too. But you have to think, let me get churchy on y'all for a second. The whole point of what we do in church from a ministry standpoint is the Great Commission is for us to go to the highways and hedges and educate and spread the message of Jesus Christ. That's the whole point. So if you are not, and with technology, it's allowing, instead of back in the day where we used to have to send missionaries here and there and raise money, do fish fries and chicken fries and car washes and asking to take a 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 15th offering just to raise enough money to send Sister Sally over to Venezuela or wherever else to go minister. With technology and with your phone, you're able to share a message just by subscribing, and sharing on your social media, and you'll be reaching more people free compared to doing all that stuff. So if we're really about wanting to share God's message and the message of Jesus Christ, taking advantage of every medium that's possible to share that message, I would think is a good thing and not a bad thing. Sorry, this is late, so my daughter is talking in her sleep. And then going back to my brother-in-law, ever since they started live streaming, they have a consistent basis of people that are in Canada. Me, myself, we've had people from China and Russia that are watching our live stream, and we don't have missionaries going to those locations. So is it worth sharing the message to people in other countries that you're not visiting to keep those 1 or 2 people who decide not to come to church? Or are you more concerned with the message getting out? So that was number 1, and that was just my thoughts. Oh, also, these are not in any particular order. All right. So number 2 is the training and manpower. And this is how I grouped this together, and that was kind of the purpose of this channel, is to try and educate and help, because getting my church to this point, there was so much information scattered around that it just happened to be this is the stuff that I liked. So me doing all this research was fun. It's not fun for everybody else, and that was the kind of the reason why I'm doing my channel the way I'm doing, is to try and bring and consolidate a lot of this information so that you can do it. And honestly, I know from having a computer science background, loving IT, people might not agree with this statement, but honestly, the whole thing of live streaming and everything like that is really, really easy. It really is, because most of the time, like here on Facebook or something like that, it's literally a button press for you to do it, and that's really all it is. The extra is just to be able to present a quality product to whoever's watching. So that's kind of the manpower. The manpower is a different thing, but again, there are options that, like in my setup at church, we use a stream deck, and it's literally press buttons 1 through 6 in order. That's how the live streamer works. So yes, it was added on as an extra task for our media ministry, but it wasn't like you had to get a degree in it. I don't expect everybody to set it up, but again, I have it to where it's really easy for other people to do. And even if you are in a place where you need to set it up yourself, I have plenty of guides here, and more other future videos on how to set that up. So training is not a big thing. Manpower might be a different thing, but even if it was just a one-man show, you're adding maybe about 5 minutes of time once during a Sunday service to get everything set up. The next thing, and there's 1, 2, 3, yeah, it's 5, I was counting wrong. The next thing is privacy. And there's two different types of privacy with that. Privacy as in some people don't want to be seen on your stream, and then even one post said that some people are concerned that when they start talking about the truths about certain beliefs that we have, whether it be homosexuality, our beliefs on that, or fornication, or whatever it is, some people are concerned about what will the church be, their particular church be viewed as. Is that, now I'm not going to stand on my soapbox on this one. Even though I was raised in the church, a lot of people might not agree with this stance, but this is just what I've come to understand. And when I've read that Jesus didn't hate anyone, he disliked the actions of people. So I love all people. But I dislike the actions that certain people may take, or certain habits that people may take. That's just me. So, if you have that concern to where you're saying that people are gonna bust hell wide open if they don't do this, and this, I almost don't want to touch that one. But I just believe if the concern of privacy is that you're concerned about spreading your message, the insight I would think about that is, if you're having concern about your message, that almost seems like that might be a confidence issue in your message in the first place. Because if you're confident in what you're saying, if people don't like it, they don't like it. It's like everybody has free will, just like Jesus and God have said, I set before you life and death. I'd rather you choose life, but you can choose and do whatever you want to. I was always told that God is like the perfect gentleman. He will never make you do anything or force you to do anything. He gives you the choice. So I think that's kind of like my thoughts on that. So then also the other privacy thing is, people might not want their faces on there. Kids might not want their faces. And that's real simple. You keep the camera just on whoever's preaching, and that's the only thing you stream. You can do that. So that's something real simple to solve on that one. The next thing is budget and cost. Again, this is the purpose of my channel, is to try and break that down. My brother-in-law's church, after I did my home church, they came and saw what we did, and we came in and did their church. And in all honesty, the next person that came to us was priced them at maybe $90,000 more than what we came in and did, because I have a computer science background. I've been in church my whole life. Churches are normally the last ones to embrace technology, and then at the same time, when that happens, we are subject to being swindled a lot of times. You don't need, a lot of times when you're thinking about doing live streaming, and I have, I'll tag it in here, I did a $100 bundle on everything that you need to get live streaming. You literally only need an internet connection, a camera, and a computer, or one of these stationary, like the Boxcast or some of these other dedicated boxes to live stream. That's it. Or even if you want to go even simpler than that, all you need is an iPad or a phone. If you really, really want to go bare bones, you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to do live streaming. So that's like a myth that's been propagated to try and keep companies fattening their pockets. Now, I want to be careful with that, because I do run a company which I want to be profitable, but at the same time, it doesn't take hundreds of thousands of dollars to get this stuff done to do a quality product. All right, and then the main one that I've seen so many people talk about is fear, which you can also say is change. The best way I say with this is just like the same way when everybody was big on moving to the radio. I sat down and talked to my pastor about the same thing when he had concerns about this. The main thing from a standpoint of live streaming is not meant to turn your church into an e-church to where everybody's just sitting in front of a computer and not doing anything or interacting with people. Live streaming is not something to fear because it's different. It's just a new tool. That's all it is. Just think about it. Back in the day when the radio was available, the same stuff that's being said right now is the same thing that was being said about the radio. When you go to TV, the same thing was said when the TV, and then all of a sudden everybody jumped on the bandwagon and wanted to get on the TV. It's the same thing. It is just a tool. And fear is normally because people do not understand it and they are afraid of change. And hopefully in my videos and my channel, trying to help address that. So and again, out of all the pastors I've talked to and I try and help, all of these have been their concerns. So again, number one was people are going to stop coming to your church. That's not true, because now what's going to happen is more people are going to be able to come and see, because let's be honest, most of our churches, we don't do as much outreach as we need to. And when you start live streaming or putting your content available, you'll have more people who visit your church digitally before they ever physically come in. And if you establish yourself and show yourself to the cause and the mission behind your church, that will entice more people to actually come to your church. I've seen that in all the churches I've worked with, seen that personally at my own church. So that's not something to fear. And just realize, if they stop coming, anything would have stopped them from coming. For all you know, we're going to change the church's robes to red, or you might even have it to where we're going to stop wearing robes. People will stop for that too. So don't shut down the progress of moving forward in whatever capacity just because you're afraid of what 1, 2, or 3 people are going to do. Your training and manpower, there are tools out there like this channel and other resources that you can learn the stuff you have to do. I didn't know this immediately because this was new to me too. I learned it, and that's what I try and help, is break it down Barney style and share the things that I've learned here on this channel. Privacy, whether it be people's faces, then you just don't put them on the camera. The only thing you put on the camera is who's going to be preaching. And even if they didn't want to be preaching, you can put a static image and just have their voice if you really wanted to go that way. But then from a privacy standpoint, like I said, you just don't put the people who have an issue on camera. Easy. Now, and then the other privacy, if you want to keep your message private, then me personally, you got an issue with what you're teaching. If you want to keep your teaching private so that no one else knows about it except for your church, then maybe your message isn't meant for the world, kind of like how God and Jesus wants us to do it. Because Jesus and God sure didn't hide their message. They shared it. Budget and cost, I've talked to you about that. I mean, we have plenty of budgets products here under my kit under AJaytheCEO.com that shows many of the tools that I actually use on how much it actually costs to get this stuff done. It doesn't cost as much as you think. And then fear, it's just about change. It's something new. The only thing that's consistent is change. Things will always change. They're not going to be the same, because when you look outside in your church, I'm sure you either got a Tesla, maybe it might be mine. It'd be a Tesla, or you sure don't see no horse and buggy out there, because things have changed. Don't fear change. Just embrace it, because it's allowing us to reach and touch so many others that used to cost hundreds of thousands, or very few churches used to be able to do. It's a level playing field now when it comes to technology, because you can do you can show off like it's a multi-million-dollar production if you just put the time into it, but it doesn't cost multi-millions. It just costs care and time and study to learn how to do it. So I hope this helps, guys. Like I said, this is something I've been talking to many a pastor about when I've had consultations with them, when I've taught classes about from a media ministry standpoint. All 5 of these questions come up over and over and over again. So this just happened to be a time for me to sit down and actually record my thoughts about it and share that with you, so that you can share that, whether your pastor, your church, or if you're having any of those concerns, you can do that. And if you ever needed any more input, you want to contact me and I can help you as much as possible, just hit me up on this email address down here below. I respond to all emails, and that's about it, guys. So if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, that way you get notified when we come up with new videos, and share this video with your pastor or any other churches who may be contemplating, or you may have heard some of the questions that we talked about. So this is AJ, and we will see you on the next video. Later.